This is a cut and dry case that somehow is being turned into not a cut and dry case. And I don't think this is by accident. I don't think this is organic. So, Austin Metcalf, 17-year-old kid, sitting under a tent at a high school track meet on a Monday or Tuesday morning. I can't, my memory's now getting a little fuzzy, but he's sitting under a tent in the stands, and this is kind of commonplace and common practice. And he sees a kid sitting under their tent that's not from their school, and there's some sort of conversation about, hey, kid, you need to move. And the other 17-year-old kid, Karmelo Anthony, gets, according to Austin Metcalf's brother, Hunter, he gets a little agitated, gets a little saucy. They exchange words. Austin allegedly grabs this kid's backpack or in some way puts his hands on this kid, and Karmelo Anthony stabs him in the chest and the heart, actually, and Austin Metcalf bleeds out and dies in his brother's arms. Now, based off of what we've heard Hunter Metcalf say in television interviews, based off what we've heard from related to what the police allegedly had Karmelo Anthony saying, like, hey, I did it. Can I claim self-defense and some of these other things? This seems cut and dry. Two high school kids had a verbal dispute, and one kid stabbed another kid in the heart. This is murder, and this isn't controversial. And what I've seen play out in the social media space is like, and I've tried to point this out, and I've said this to people over social media, is like, someone's defense team, Karmelo Anthony's defense team, and these non-government organizations, NGOs, that seem dedicated to driving racial division, they're pumping out information over social media that is clouding up a cut and dry case, and it is trying to draw a lot of sympathy and change the narrative on what transpired here and what seems a cut and dry case. And I posted over X this weekend, I was like, hey man, everything you see related to this case, everything that is being posted, a lot of it I think is bought and paid for by the defense team that wants to change the conversation around this event, and these NGOs, and they want to turn this into a racial division case. And this isn't organic. People are being paid. Key influencers are being paid to pump out speculative, inaccurate information intended to change the narrative around this case. And they've done it. Because almost in an instant, this has now been turned into a case where people are tossing around the word, well, Austin Metcalf was bullying Karmelo Anthony. And how dare Austin Metcalf take it upon himself to tell this kid to leave this tent. And he was bullying Karmelo Anthony, and Karmelo Anthony was just standing his ground. And yes, does this not sound, it sounds crazy, and it sounds like, well, that won't fly. You can't have a verbal confrontation and have someone touch your backpack or touch you on the arm and respond by stabbing the other person. But the conversation's been changed. People are now saying, well, Austin was bullying him, and did Karmelo overreact? And I have to say, hats off to the defense team. They've changed this entire conversation. This is a cut and dry case about a kid that responded to what he perceived as disrespect with violence. And we've seen this time and time again from young black kids. This is how young black kids treat each other in their own all black communities. If they sense and see any disrespect, they respond hyper aggressively and often violently. And people are now having a discussion, and there's a GoFundMe for Karmelo Anthony, and we're seeing people lean into their racial idolatry. And that, well, we have to defend Karmelo Anthony. And we're about to turn Karmelo Anthony into George Floyd 2.0. He's Derek Chauvin. He killed someone. But the magic of social media and the magic of misinformation and the magic of spreading gossip and rumor and letting the desire for clicks and clout change this discussion. But because of racial idolatry and because of the way we've been programmed and because we always fall for the okie doke, and because, again, racial idolatry, when you take pride in your race, now you start defending it no matter what. And that's how you end up with heroes and statues of George Floyd. That's how you end up with a GoFundMe for Karmelo Anthony. That's how you end up thinking every resisting criminal is the person you must defend and is a hero, and was just days and hours away from turning their life around and not being a criminal suspect. This is the kind of idiocy that racial idolatry promotes. We all remember Michael Brown. Hands up, don't shoot. He's on tape bullying and robbing some little convenience store. But Darren Wilson, this racist cop, shot and killed Michael Brown for no reason. And then the Obama Department of Justice investigated and found out, well, hold on. This kid tried to take the gun off Darren Wilson. This kid started running and storming at Darren Wilson and did not stop, and never put his hands up. How many of these things are we going to fall for? How many of these false... there's just like an incredible appetite to go for each and every one of these. All because you've been led, the white man is your mortal enemy. And he must be stopped at all costs. And we must find ways, and we don't care if we have to hide behind George Floyd, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, and every other criminal on the planet. We're going to prove our point that the white man is racist. And he's out to get us every single day. And you'll hear this and think, well, is Jason saying there's no racism? It's not what I'm saying. But it ain't our problem. Not our biggest problem. The culture we have adopted is our problem. If we were to stop interpreting every tiny slight as disrespect and disrespect worthy of an aggressive response, all these issues as it relates to the police and engagement, they'd all virtually disappear. And we would quit killing each other. We wouldn't think, this dude stepped on my shoe and didn't apologize. He done disrespected me. I got to get in his face. We wouldn't think that. We wouldn't call each other the N-word. We would start adopting an appropriate mindset and appropriate behavior that allowed us to get along with each other. We can't get along with each other. You think we can't get along with Austin Metcalf and white kids in Frisco. Our real problem, we can't get along with each other. That's why we can't get along with anybody. Does anybody remember the PSYOP they did where, I think this is in 2018, two guys in Philadelphia, one of them needed a piss. And some Starbucks manager was like, hey, no, the restroom's closed. And we spent months arguing about whether the manager at a Starbucks was racist for not letting a non-paying, non-customer use the bathroom at Starbucks. This dominated national television discussion. A guy that wasn't a customer at Starbucks, wasn't spending any money at Starbucks. The manager was like, nah, you can't use the bathroom. And we called it an amazing story of racism and spent months debating it. How many of these we going to fall for? Of course, you guys remember Jacob Blake. He shut down the entire NBA. This man done sexually assaulted his baby's mama, had a restraining order not to come over there, brought his kids over there, pulled a knife on the cops, and got shot. And they shut down the NBA. Career criminal sexually assaulted his baby mama, and Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James and the whole NBA, hey, shut it down for Jacob Blake. How many of these we going to go for? There's a pattern over and over and over again. We can't forget the granddaddy of them all, George Floyd. Help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your fearless friends.